December 12th, year 2020. In this recording, I'd like to help you become aware about how you create problems in life, what happens inside you when you create problems, so that this understanding can help you overcome those problems. Let's say you are referring to a person when it comes to a problem. One person, or maybe there are a few people involved in your problem, in your mind. So whenever you say that I have a problem in life, it certainly involves one or more people outside you. So your mind make connections between you and those others in concern. So when you create a problem, how do you know you have created a problem? You feel uncomfortable. You feel agitated. You feel angry. You feel sad. You feel frustrated. You feel stressed. You feel worried, tensed, irritated, nervous, anxious, sick, worried, scared. So the list goes on. Fundamentally, you know in a given time that you have a problem because you do not feel nice, you don't feel good, you don't feel joyful, you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel well. So what is the indication that there's something not right in my life? It's fundamentally the way I feel about something. And when you refer to something in any area of life, that something is certainly associated to another. And now let's understand why we create these problems, which makes us feel uncomfortable inside of us, which makes us sick, and all dysfunctionalities get manifested. And fundamentally, we become unhappy. So how do we create this? We create problems mainly because we forget that the problem creator in our world, in our life, is ourselves. We forget that. We forget it completely. That I am struggling, I am stressed, I'm worried because I have created this problem. We forget it. So this kind of discourses are reminders for you to remember that it's me who is creating this problem, so that we bring the attention inwards, which is focused outside of us in a given time, so that the moment you bring your attention inside, your energy is preserved. You can use that energy to understand how you have created the problem, and certainly when you know how exactly you have created the problem, that is where you're out of the problem. And you feel good, you feel happy, you feel at ease, your mind becomes stable and calm and tranquil. So the first step in solving problem any problem is to bring your attention inwards by remembering, oh, the problem is in my mind, in my world, in my life. I do refer to other people who are responsible for creating this, but it's me who's experiencing the problem, not them. So if there's anyone who can fix it, it should be me. So your attention should be brought in completely. But that can happen. I remind you, that can happen only when you remember that I'm 100% responsible for creating this problem. And now let's investigate and understand. What are these problems? I mean, what do they look like, sounds like, feels like, tastes like, smells like? What is the problem? So problem is a state of mind where I think and feel whatever I want is not happening, or whatever I do not want is happening. Either way, it's about what I think and feel. Now let's investigate further. When you refer to this problem that I think should happen or I think shouldn't happen, if you carefully analyze, one powerful technique I suggest you to do when analyzing your problems is to actually be able to write it down on a piece of paper. All thoughts that comes to your mind when you think about the problem, you should be able to write it down on a piece of paper. We really, really recommend you do that so that you can sort of externalize what's going on in your head and see it from your eyes. You can read it. Maybe it might feel very different after you have taken it out from your head and put it onto a paper. Some people do this actually, so not knowing that it's so therapeutic. However, they may not know what to do with this information that they see thereafter. So let me guide you through this process. So it's all about what's going on in your mind that you must understand. And imagine you put down your problem into pen and paper and you see the problem statement. It's like a script, just like a script in a drama or a movie or a telefilm, all right? It's a script. So in this script, you have characters, other characters. So everything you have written down is about one character in this script, that is you, and other characters. So who is creating these characters? It's you who is creating these characters and in your mind. It's your movie and your characters, the personalities of those characters in your mind. When you carefully look at your problem, meaning all the thoughts associated to this overarching problem, you will see there's a disconnection between the character who writes the script and the characters in the script. You will understand that I have become associated with the character who writes the script and the characters in the script. I have got associated. There's a person who's writing the problem. He or she is also a character, and there are other characters in the script. And you have got identified with these characters and the association between characters. So, taking a step back and looking at these characters, you can see, just like when you would watch a movie. And when you're watching a movie, there are fights and conflicts and arguments and major battles between characters in a movie. But if you look at the actor or actress, actors and actresses who are playing these characters in the movie are not the characters. After the movie, they come, hug, talk, are friends, they just let go of the character and they just get along and they live life wonderfully. They don't have anything to do with the characters. So when you're watching a movie, the fight and the battle and all the wars between the characters in the movie, but not the actors and actresses. So similarly in your life also, you as an actor playing a certain character in different social roles, through different social roles, tend to create problems with other characters in the movie, in the script, because you got identified with the character. You're not able to separate out, so there's an actor out there just like me, independent from this character. Strangely enough, in the movie of life, interestingly, we don't see ourselves playing the act. That's the funny part. We are hidden inside the character. So we get sort of so accustomed to this character. Maybe you have heard in the past, a lot of stories about certain actors and actresses committing suicide and dying in particular way, living a very unhappy, unfulfilled, frustrated lives with all the money in their bank accounts and all the luxuries, and not being able to really be able to enjoy the wealth they have created by acting, because continuously they have been playing these roles in movies that they have really lost themselves in the characters in movies. Let's say someone who has been continuously playing those roles of a victim or a perpetrator, suddenly finding similar qualities in their lives too, feeling very unhappy and unfulfilled, frustrated, and having really tragic circumstances created in their life, just like the movies they were acting. So it just doesn't happen to great actors, however, or actresses, because they know it's an act. They can separate themselves out from those characters and have their identity, but maybe it's hard. So same thing happened in our life. In our life, we don't ever see the movie of our life until it is made into a autobiography or a movie someday when we die. Or for some people when they're alive, some movies are done on their name about their life, so they can see their life story. Usually when we die, it happens, right? But while we are living the life, we don't get to see it for ourselves. So that means we get really associated with this character, but we are not the character in the movie. We are the actors. Means we're just playing out something there. So when you create problems in life, it is between the characters, the personalities, who has a mind-body construct and who has a lot of conditioning, and essentially the problems are between minds. Then the problems between minds becomes a battle between bodies. Then the problems between two bodies finally become a battle between nations, like wars. This is how we create wars. So if you have a problem, you got to let go of it, you got to resolve it at a very early stage. Otherwise, you will suffocate in your mind and body, and you will continue to suffocate others. And then you will read, write, rebel, vote against, vote for wars and battles and struggles in the world. So not knowingly that you were part of it. You were creating those battles. You are responsible, because from childhood, then young adult, as an adult, throughout our lives, we were so trained to get associated with the characters we are playing in the social roles in society, in relationships, etc. And then we forget to disassociate. We forget that we're just that actor and we don't have anything to do with this character. So we were not trained to solve problems whenever they occur. At the budding stage, we have to daily basis, hourly basis, every minute we got to resolve the problems that appear in our head. Then only you can say you're a responsible citizen in this world, in this country, in this society. All the wars that we see between groups, nations, countries, essentially it's the battle we have in our minds between these characters. So anytime if you feel you are not well, happy, comfortable, suffering in some way, stop acting, stop speaking. Of course, you can't stop thinking, but that is the ideal level. You have to train yourself to go, like at your will, you can stop the dysfunctional thinking. But before coming to that level, you got to first understand how your mind works. That problems are not out there. You are creating these problems in your mind and you're reacting, and then you're creating, multiplying them in the world outside. You go extra miles to fix problems which does not even exist actually. For a moment, imagine the whole world. I'm just asking you to just imagine, right? Be fanciful in your imagination if it helps, because this whole life is anyway an imagination. And materializing, imaginations materializing, imaginations materializing, imaginations materializing. So for a moment, all right, just for a moment, imagine every human being on planet of Earth right now, everyone all together at once, going to sleep. And now imagine all the people in this world at once, together, letting go of all the problems in their mind and smiling and laughing and joyfully bouncing in joy and happiness. And for a moment, imagine all the people in this world in a given moment, everyone, all right, regardless of the age, gender, group, nothing, everyone, every human being, a baby to an adult, everyone dancing in joy, everyone singing with happiness and clarity, everyone now sit back silently meditating, everyone shutting their thought processes at their will. When they see something not nice in their mind, they can let go. They can just remove that programming, that coding. Everyone's together doing this. Imagine, just imagine. If you can imagine the whole world being able to do that, why don't you start with yourself? Yes, that's right.